Hey everybody, AFC Northerners! Woo! I am joined by Marc Herman, aka LA Bengal fan on Twitter. There you go.
Hello everybody.
So, Ravens-Bengals is coming up on New Year's Eve. At 4:30, they moved the game. I know that Harbaugh wasn't very happy about that.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw his comments today. He was not pleased.
Yeah, he was not happy about that at all.
No.
A lot of news that came up from this game, but let's start off with what you're thinking about this game going into it.
Well, last week we had, when I did my preview show, we had Mixon, Drake Patrick, and Tez in concussion protocol. So we didn't know what their availability was going to be. I assumed they weren't going to play. As it turned out, Kirkpatrick was full practice, by Friday. Tez was full practice, but there still was rumors, they're not going to, I don't see him playing more than 10 or 20 snaps. He ended up playing the whole game. And he definitely had an impact because you can't argue how much different our defense is when Tez is in the game.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for the Lions, the Bengals finally found a soul and they came to play. And they probably put the final nail in Caldwell's coffin as the coach of Detroit. So I expect them to.
Do you think the Bengals are coming in here to basically keep the Ravens out?
Yes, absolutely. I think from what we saw last week, I think they kind of got a taste of the spoiler roll. They saw the reports on the news. Now all of a sudden, hey, Bengals knocked out the Lions. I think they come out and they try to knock you guys out. And we'll be able to know more when we see who plays. But if AJ plays and they go to all their starters and Tez is out there and they even try to get Mixon in, they're going to try to play spoiler here.
So here's the question now is how do you guys do against our newly found run game?
I think if Tez is in there, we're stout against the run. I'm not concerned about our defense. Our defense came to play. If you saw, we shut down the Lions so much so they had 3 3rd and 1s at midfield, and they passed on all the downs. All of them.
So my next question to follow up on that is, what about the Ravens does scare you?
Well, we have nothing to lose, so nothing scares me.
Yeah.
I have absolutely. We're a very this is a dangerous opponent for you right now.
See, this is the thing. This is you're hitting on exactly the thing. This is why every Ravens fan is secretly sweating bullets on this game right now because it is definitely, one, you guys have nothing to lose. 2, we have if in the off chance that both the Bills and the Titans lose and we lose, I mean we're out. It winds up going to even if everybody loses, then the Bills still get in. So I know that Bengals fans are probably cheering more for the Bills than anything else.
Right.
Which is interesting because a lot of Bengals fans that I've talked to as of recent would much rather us be in there fighting the Steelers or the Pats, but yet they still want the Bills to win. And you can't have it both ways, guys. You can't have it.
Well, my attitude is I don't think either of you are getting past the Patriots. I really don't. So to me, I still put the Patriots in the
Everybody
Super Bowl.
said the same thing in 2012 when we went to the Super Bowl. So we'll see. I mean, that's a long way off, and it's a long time ago, and we are a radically different team, and I get that. Yeah. So here's something else to me. We just activated Quincy Attaboy Joe. We've got Jalen Hill, who's now on injury reserve. He wound up touring his ACL and MCL, which is sorry to hear. That dude was so good for us. But we're still really good at our corners. And we've been, kind of looking at some other wide receivers here and there in order to figure out who might be a better fit. We were looking at Jeremy Curley to see what he might be able to do. I mean, he's a slot receiver just like Macklin. He's 10 pounds lighter than Macklin, but he's still speedy. He could fill if Macklin is not available for this game. Might be interested to see whether or not he would be not only a good fit but be able to pick up the playbook quick enough. And wound up build chemistry right away with Flacco on that. So I'm with you. I think that this is totally a game that we have everything to lose and you have nothing, which makes it very, very, very dangerous. And knowing Perfect, there's no reason for him not to try and take more people out with injuries.
I don't think he's going to go in there and try and do that, but he plays full speed.
I don't know. I mean, Perfect doesn't have the best record.
I don't think he's going in there to hurt anybody, but Ray Lewis wasn't in there to hurt anybody, but he hit hard. He was there to play full, and I don't think Ray ever intended to hurt anybody. Ray hurt a lot of people in his career.
I don't think there are any Ravens whatsoever that are sleeping on this team. Like, I think that everybody realizes exactly what we have to lose, because if we lose because we lost and the other two teams won, then we're done. Like, it's horrible. Which reminds me, I want to explain playoff chances real quick for Ravens fans who may not get what's going on real quick. If we win on New Year's Eve against the Bengals, we're in. If we lose, but Tennessee loses, we're in. If we lose and Buffalo loses and Tennessee wins, well, then Tennessee's in. But if we lose and both other teams lose, then we're still in.
Well, now there is a scenario where, because the Chargers need you to win to get in.
Yeah.
So there's a scenario where it has to be like a four-way tie.
It's crazy. Yeah, exactly. It's like the way with the Chargers. Like, it's kind of like winging a prayer, Chargers fans. Winging a prayer, Chargers fans. But at the same time, I mean, any given Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a combination. When you get to 3 and 4 team tiebreakers, it's the combination that you need. So that's why the Chargers absolutely need you to win. They win, and they have a whole series. But your winning is critical to the Chargers.
Absolutely. So if Marvin Lewis, like, if he has a really great game in this game, like, too little too late, or is there still hope?
No, he's done.
Done?
He's absolutely done.
So what happens if he comes back next year, though?
He's not coming back. If he comes, there'll be if he comes back, Mike Brown should take an aerial shot of the stadium last week where it was less than 50% full. Get used to that. That's going to be your stadium every single home game. There's a huge discontentment in the fan base right now. Not only do they not want Marvin back, we don't want anybody promoted from within. Gunther would not be a popular hire. If they promote Gunther to head coach, that will not go over well. They want to see new blood. They want to see fresh thinking.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if I were Bengals fans, I understand my frustration with Marty Morningweg, and that's just the Marty Morningweg. That whole organization needs a whole complete turnover.
Right. Well, like I said, coaching wise, not roster wise.
No, absolutely. I think you guys have a great roster. Trust me, I'm really jealous of your wide receivers. That being said, okay, so we're getting close to time here. So, what do you want to see out of the Bengals this coming game, the last game of the regular season, and your prediction?
Okay. What I wanted to see 2 weeks ago was us to get a top 10 pick, because I really want to. We had a chance to go from 8 to 6 because we would have actually jumped the 49ers too. But by winning, we put ourselves in that 10, 11, 12. So we're already in the middle. Even if it's the upper middle, we're in the middle part of the draft. So now it really doesn't make a difference. The difference between 10 and 12 isn't that big, where the difference between 8 and 6 was huge. So now I would like to see us win this game. I would like to see us pay you back for that opening day shutout and spoil you, because even if you lose and you get in, being a 6 is different than being a 5. So you have a chance to be a 5. That gets you a different.
I think there are a lot of Bengals fans out there that would really disagree with you. They'd rather have the lower number of a pick.
So, but no, like I said, I wanted that too when there was a chance for us to get from 8 to 6 or maybe to 5. We have no chance now to be inside the top 10. We have 6 wins. There's too many teams.
I'd rather just say screw it and go right for it.
Well, the worst we could do is fall back to what, 12 or 13 from 10? It's not that big a fallback now. The lineman, we need an offensive lineman with our first pick. The offensive lineman we want is McGlinchey from Notre Dame. He isn't going to be there. He wasn't going to be there at 8.
You can't predict the draft this early, though.
Yeah, but he's the top. He's the highest graded and one of the few first-round picks in the draft. He will be gone. So the Niners need a lineman. The Bears need a lineman. They're not going quarterback.
We'll catch up on this. Okay, we got to switch over because we're running out of time. I feel what you're saying. What's your score prediction?
I think it's going to be a hard-fought game. I'm going to go 2016 Bengals.
2016 Bengals.
Bengals, yeah.
We are playing at home in Baltimore on New Year's Eve. Energy level is going to be through the roof. January Joe is showing up a little bit earlier, and it is the New Year's Eve of January Joe. So we may actually see this whole thing. We took you guys in the very beginning of the season when Joe was horrible. So we had you there. Our offense has warmed up significantly. As long as it's just still a problem with Marty Morningweg conservative play calling, but that was more in the earlier of the year. It's still showing its ugly head. But not only that, our defense is way, way, way more set and put together. I'm not worried about the AJ factor as much as I was in the beginning of the season when we first had you guys. Because I had no idea what Marlon Humphrey is going to look like, what our our corners core was going to look like. This year, this coming game, a lot more relaxed, but at the same time, like realize that you guys have absolutely nothing to lose. I don't expect a loss. I just don't. I think that this is going to be, you're right, I think it's totally going to be a hard-fought game. But I think this game is going to go 23-17, and that is going to be a Ravens win. 23-17. I think that it's going to, again, come down to Justin Tucker. I think it's going to be another Justin Tucker game I don't know. Like, it's interesting. I want to get your thoughts on this at the end of the season whenever we really talk about this. But I have the feeling that like the Ravens are a first half offensive, second half defensive game. That's how they kind of play.
Let me ask you a question.
All right.
If the team that we just saw barely beating the Indianapolis Colts at home, and I mean barely beat, if that team shows up,
weather. First of all, it was raining here horribly. The wind was right in that stadium. Sam Cook was trying to make punts, like it was just going right into the wind. I think weather had a lot to do. It was nasty out here, like really, truly nasty, and you can't really see that in a folk-out game.
You played an indoor team. You should have manhandled them in that weather. You're an outdoor cold weather team. This is an indoor Colts team with Brissett at quarterback, and you barely won that game. So I think you're thinking you're a little too comfortable about where you're at.
I think we're the Ravens that we play down to our opponents way too often, like the Steelers do. I think we just wind up playing down, and if we're challenged, then we kind of rise up. We're also the team that went 38-39 on the Steelers and only lost by 1 point. So there's that too.
You talk about January Joe. You talk about how everything's coming together.
110 was his last quarterback rating.
I'm just saying what I saw last week. You don't think you guys play like that, you're not winning.
I mean, we're gonna see. That's the fun part of this rivalry. All right, we're way over time.
Not a problem. Throw out the plugs.
Absolutely. So again, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you go to superfanstyle.com and put in the code AFC North 20 whenever you get there, and your first purchase, so you'll get 20% off. Shout out to some of our other favorite podcasts that help us out. Ace Boogie with New Stripe City. He's got his Bengals podcast. You've also got Joe Noob Football, which is a Ravens and football podcast as well.
Right.
If you're ever interested in checking out Left-Handed Podcasts, they're a great podcast as well. I talked to those guys earlier in the season, before the season even started, so now I got to go back and listen to that one and see how bad I was on a lot of these games. Other than that, thanks to new subscribers. Please comment, please share, please talk. We love talking to you guys. Am I missing anything, man?
Well, shout out to Rocco's. We're gonna do a group show. I think this Wednesday. You'll be back in town. We'll do a group show. This is a coast-to-coast show.
By the way, I'm in Baltimore right now.
I'm sitting in Los Angeles, so we got a coast-to-coast show for you. We'll be all together in the same room next week at Rocco's. 5 locations, and great place to take in a game, roccostavern.com.
Awesome. All right, guys, I'm going to get on out of here. Mark, good to talk to you as always. I'll see you on Wednesday. I'm looking forward to collecting that jersey from you.
So there you go. Well, it won't be this one. I already gave up, but it'll be a jersey.
All right.
I want to sign up as I always do with fuck Marvin Lewis and fuck Mike Brown for this whole year and more plus. So.
All right, and I'm going to sign off like I always do with fuck the Patriots and fuck Marvin Lewis as well. I'm right there with you. Fuck Marvin Lewis.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, but I hope you lose. Anyway, all right, guys.
It'll be a fun game. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.